Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put money on it.
I made a memory about your dad. He's in a book. Whoa, whoa. He has a history of skimming past all the pages of ageless confessional shit.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, about the Bible. Jace, Dedeker, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
I'm very sweaty is the only problem. It's very warm here in this country of Japan, where we're staying.
It's very warm and humid here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also, both of us, our calves are so incredibly sore from all of the hiking up hills to go to hot springs, which was amazing. But we're paying the price for it with just the sorest calves.
Well,
I've
I paid the
ever
price
had.
with literally burning my ass in the hottest hot spring I've ever been in my entire life. Literally burned my ass.
It happens. I hope that it was worth it in the end.
I'd say it was worth it. How's your ass doing, Emily?
Mine good. I've been doing squats every day.
Oh,
Great.
I think it's getting a little bit firmer.
Excellent.
I'm pleased.
That's
Excellent.
great.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to get back into Job here.
Yes, well, I'm excited, even more excited than you, I would wager, because we have our very, very first guest here at Drunk Bible Study. So I want to introduce you to our good friend and fellow podcaster, Cooper Beckett. You may know him from the Life on the Swing Set podcast. Cooper, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, I'm multiple drinks in. I'm ready for this.
Yay. Well
You've
done.
got a head start on us.
I would pre-game.
Yes. Well, it's morning for us in Japan right now, so we're just getting started drinking.
So this is how we're starting our day.
This is day
So
drinking.
Cooper, could you briefly give us a rundown of how are you connected to the Bible?
So I was one of those people who went to Catholic school. I had Catholic education from preschool through 5th grade, and then after school Catholic education, because I went to a public school at that point. Well,
what does that mean exactly?
It means that we went to church multiple times a week because the school was attached to the church.
Whoa.
So we would single file down to the church. And it means that, legitimately, I can pinpoint the point where I became concerned about religion.
Really?
And it was in 5th grade sex ed class when they said, if you masturbate, you go to hell.
Oh,
my gosh.
I was just like, I just discovered this thing that I can do that's awesome. And now you're telling me I go to hell? Because that's not great.
I have some
And
questions.
that began a life of questioning.
Wow.
Yes.
But really, I was always in it for the gore. Because, I look back at my kindergarten class, and we would color the Stations of the Cross.
Oh, geez.
Oh, so was yours just
Stations
all
of
red,
the
just
Cross.
blood everywhere?
Right. Well, hang on, sorry.
My Jesus, his hand wounds were bleeding all the way to the ground.
Yeah.
I use entire red crayons on that.
Yeah, Cooper,
because-
can you explain what the Stations of the Cross are to Emily?
Sorry, I'm like, what are we talking about?
Oh yeah, Stations of the Cross. That would be the moments of Jesus carrying his cross up to Calvary or Golgotha, depending on which way you want to talk about it. And they actually aren't in the Bible. They were I hesitate to say invented, but they were added by a nun who had visions and is now a saint.
Huh.
So every Catholic church, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Cooper, because I wasn't raised Catholic, but every Catholic church, most Catholic churches you walk into around the sanctuary will have the Stations of the Cross. There's 12 of them, and there's a lot of services and prayers that involve kind of stopping at each Station of the Cross and praying at each one.
Especially on Good Friday, you would go to the Stations of the Cross Mass. And you'd stop at each one and contemplate how horrible this must have been for our Lord and Savior.
When I was in Jerusalem, I literally, they literally have real life Stations of the Cross marked
Like
out.
that sounds fascinating to me.
It was fascinating because it's like across the city and even outside the city. And so I walked those and it brought up all kinds of feelings.
I mean, calling it the Stations of the Cross, we're like, okay, we're going to this station now, and at this station,
This station is where Jesus falls for the second time.
Oh,
This
geez.
station is where
He gets beaten up a lot by the guards or whatever.
Yeah,
This
pretty
station
much.
is where they put the crown of thorns on his head.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant story. It's
No.
And that always bothered me. Good Friday had one of the worst stories.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it's quite a gory and horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're not there yet. It's going to take a
that's,
while.
That's a long way.
It's a long ways in the future
for you.
Yeah, that's like thousands of years in the future from where we are right now.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, so what are we drinking today?
I'll
That's a good
start
question.
because I'm drinking a Japanese drink that the name of it is Zeitaku Shibori, which translates to luxurious squeeze.
Yeah.
And it's
Of course it does.
seems to be some kind of peach related wine cooler kind of experience. It only has 4% alcohol, so I don't know how well this is going to hold me up, but it's quite tasty
And
and
how
sugary.
many of those are you planning to drink?
Well, I only got the one, but we do have some whiskey as a backup. I'm also a lightweight. Just as a side note, there's an entire line of drinks here in Japan called horoyoi, which literally means half drunk, and they are like all low alcohol content drinks for if you want to go out, but you don't want to get real drunk. You just want to get
hammered,
buzzed.
but you want to keep up with everyone drinking. Yeah.
Japanese soccer mom drink.
Yes, exactly.
I see.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of one of those.
So I'm also having a similar kind of flavored malt beverage, except mine is branded strong. So
opposite
this
end of the
one is
spectrum.
the stronger version of what she's having, but mine is grapefruit
my God.
flavored.
So you like diesel and she's drinking unleaded.
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll go with
I mean,
that.
that's gross, but Cooper, what are you drinking?
I am gross. I'm drinking Jim Beam honey Kentucky whiskey. It's good
I've
stuff,
tried it.
and I've had at least 6 fingers of it.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh boy!
Good.
All right.
I don't know that I should refill at the moment. so. We haven't even gotten to the reading.
I know.
That's
Yeah.
true. We're
about
getting
you, Em?
there, but I mean, all of us, I guess, technically are drinking some sort of like Japanese beverage.
What are you drinking?
Because I'm having sake.
Oh.
This really cute cup that you gave me.
I
both
wondered
of you.
when I saw the tiny cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
Nice.
little owls on them.
That is
Really
funny because
cute.
Jim Beam is owned by Suntory, which is a
Yes.
Japanese company. They bought it
What?
some number of years back.
Yeah, we had no idea until we came to Japan and like we noticed that Jim Beam was really cheap in stores,
It's
and we're like,
cheaper here than it is in the U.S., which blew my mind.
Wow.
yeah.
But it's because it's owned by a Japanese company now.
Well,
Don't worry, the tariffs will take care of that.
no, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Goodness gracious. Yes.
All right. So, what are we reading?
I don't know. What are we reading?
We're resuming the Book of Job. Chapters, for those of you following along at home, we are reading chapters 6 through 9 today.
Okay.
And with that, should we just...
Well, hang on.
Of
Emily.
the new international version. Okay.
Yes, NIV. Emily, do you remember what happened last time in our reading?
Not very well. I know that Job was a guy that was supposed to be really good at life, and so God was like, yeah, this guy, and Satan was around, and Satan was like, wait a minute, no, like, if you really ruin Job's life, then he will renounce you.
He'll
And
curse you to your
God
face.
was like, I'll take that bet, Satan. And so they did, and then Job lost everything, including his slaves, his like meat and things. I don't even know, like his
His animals?
yeah, sure, his animals and his crops and his wife and his
No.
kids.
His wife survived.
And
His kids died, but
his wife survived, and she was like, you should die or something. She was like, you should die.
yeah, she was like,
Did
you
she
should
say
curse God
die?
and die.
Curse God and die, yeah.
Man.
Because
Curse God and die.
he has all the
I forgot how much of a jerk God was in the Old Testament.
No,
Like,
so jerky.
every day, just jerky and sure, Satan, I'll take a bet on a guy.
And so, anyways, it was really poetic at times. And then, where we left off was like some friend of Job's was like talking to him about God.
Eliphaz, right? His friend Eliphaz. Like he had 3 friends who came. Their names I do not remember, but Eliphaz was one of them, and he was the one who spoke last time.
Yeah, so Eliphaz gave his whole thing about, like, oh, just have faith and it'll all be all right. And, like, no bad things happen to good people. Like, that was Eliphaz's.
But clearly
Like,
that's not the
okay.
case.
Unless the devil is literally betting with God against you.
Well, so then what we're getting to now finally is Job replying. So
Okay.
this is his,
should I read that?
so this
jump
is
right in.
Let's do
Start
it.
us out,
All right,
Cooper.
so you're doing Job 6?
Then Job replied, "If only my anguish could be weighed and all my misery be placed on the scales, it would surely outweigh the sand of the seas. No wonder my words have been impetuous."
Why are you cracking up already?
Just this reading is already so much more dramatic.
No, I mean, it's great.
If I'm going to read the GD Bible, I'm going to read it like...
I know, I love it. No, I'm into it.
Okay.
I'm into it.
The arrows of the Almighty are in me. My
Ow.
spirit drinks in their poison. God's terrors are marshaled against me. Does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has fodder?
Wait, hang on.
I'm confused.
Hang on. Okay. So is this kind of does a bear poop in the woods kind of question? Is he asking
What?
rhetorically? What?
No, I think this is more, if you cut me, do I not bleed?
Yeah,
This is Shakespeare.
this
This
is
is like,
Shakespeare.
look, God's being a jerk.
So of course I'm
and
going to suffer.
Throwing his arrows at me.
Okay.
And
They're all up in me.
yeah, God's arrows are all up in my body, poisoning me because he's a jerk.
Right. Okay. But he's not cursing God, though. That's an important...
he's just saying, I think he's just reiterating, like, this really sucks.
He's just saying, like, I'm down on my luck. I'm angry, but it's not God's fault. Even though it is.
Even though it's like literally
God's fault.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, please continue.
No, yeah, absolutely. Is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavor in the sap of the mallow? I
Like a
refuse
marshmallow?
to touch it. I'm probably a marshmallow.
Yeah, that's where marshmallows came
Such
from.
food makes me ill. So is God making him sick from good food?
Well, he says tasteless food eaten without salt.
I think he's saying, like, I wouldn't eat tasteless food. I would put salt on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Really?
he's saying
I
that.
wouldn't.
But then what's the part about the marshmallows?
Is there flavor?
He doesn't have chocolate or graham crackers.
It's like,
So really,
it's disgusting. So I would not eat
yeah.
it without such things.
That's a good point.
I'm not going to eat this random mallow. Okay.
Okay.
well, and here's where he says, I refuse to touch it. Such food makes me ill. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant what I hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose his hand and cut off my life. Then I would still have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One.
Jeez.
I mean, yes. Even his wife is like, listen, just don't even be around that God anymore. That guy is
God's a bad influence.
Yeah.
Well, so is this Job being like, I wish God would kill me
Yeah.
so that I don't curse him?
Because before Eliphaz spoke last time,
Oh, right.
remember he was like, I wish I'd never been born. I wish that, I could be resting with the kings of old as a dead baby. Right? Like, you remember that part.
I don't know if that's a direct quote, but I'll go with you on
Pretty
it.
sure.
It was something
Pretty
along
sure.
those lines, yeah.
Yeah, chapter and verse. He's got it.
But so is he saying, though, now that he's like, I wish God would grant my request and kill me now because I don't know how much longer I can hold out without cursing him?
I think that's the idea.
think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Okay.
Which would just mean that God owes the devil some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't know what
So
they
this
bet.
poor guy is like, no, kill me so you don't have to pay the devil back.
We don't know what they bet, though, you know?
That's true.
Oh, I'm sure they bet his soul, because that's what they always bet.
They do like
God's
betting in
soul?
souls, I suppose.
No. Job's soul.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
No. If he renounces God, he'd be banished to hell, right?
I guess so,
Oh,
yeah.
and that would be
suppose.
worse.
But I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like they actually bet anything. I think this is just like one of those silly pissing contest bets where Satan's just trying to prove a point.
I see.
It's gentleman's wager.
Exactly.
Got
He's
it.
just trying to prove a point.
Okay.
And arguably maybe the worst kind of bet ever.
What strength do I have that I should still hope? What prospects that I should be patient? Do I have the strength of stone? Is my flesh bronze?
I mean, I'm assuming it's
Which
some
was
sort of
one of the
bronze.
best metals of the day.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. Bronze was high tech.
Bronze was high on the charts.
Do I have any power to help myself now that success has been driven from me? So this is him. They took all his shit away?
Yeah.
They took all his crap
took-
away?
And
everything.
He's
Everything.
got boils on him, too.
As you do.
And
Like you do.
he's
The Old
also like
Testament.
scraping his skin with pottery.
Oh yeah, ew, that was so gross. Whoa.
So your listeners can think about that. while
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
The gory stuff.
Yeah, no, that's the Old Testament is good for the gore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
New Testament really doesn't get to it till the end. Okay, anyone who withholds kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty. But my brothers are as undependable as intermittent streams, as the streams that overflow when darkened by thawing ice and swollen with melting snow. Whoa, they went into rhyme scheme there briefly.
Oh, well, at least the
the
translator,
translator did, yeah.
I'm gonna say
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
true,
I'm gonna start whipping out that insult. I'm like, you are as undependable as an intermittent stream.
Oh, see, I was thinking I would use that on my brothers.
Swollen
Like,
as the melting snow.
But that stops flowing in the dry season, and in the heat vanish from their channels.
they are in the desert, right? So this
yeah,
would be...
it's
Yeah,
relatable.
this is all in the desert because the
Relatable.
world was much smaller then and mostly desert. Caravans turn aside from their routes. They go off into the wasteland and perish. The caravans of Tema,
Sure.
look for water. The traveling merchants of Sheba look in hope. I know that one.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of the Queen of Sheba.
The Queen of Sheba is pretty awesome. They are distressed because they have been confident. They arrive there only to be disappointed. Now I think he's drunk. Because
He's gone off on this whole water
into
tangent.
Philosophical
Yeah, he's
pontification
waxing
here. Yeah.
poetic here all over the place.
This is his soliloquy. The stage has gone dark. He's moved front center, and he's speaking to the quiet.
Oh, I feel
hushed
like
audience.
there's going to be a lot more where that came from
Yeah.
for this entire book of Job.
Yeah.
At least it's not like so and so begets so and so who
That's
begets
true.
so
No,
and so.
that is literally the worst part of the book.
That's true.
Yep.
That was a lot of Genesis, though.
Oh, yes. Now you too have proved to be of no help. You see something dreadful and are afraid. Have I ever said, give something on my behalf, pay a ransom for me from your wealth? Deliver me from the hand of the enemy, rescue me from the clutches of the ruthless? Teach me and I will be quiet. Show me where I have been wrong. This is total soliloquy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How his friends are just
like-
sitting over here at the bar.
It's like, oh,
They're
there
at
he
a bar,
goes
right? I
again.
feel like they're at a bar.
He's like clutching his
Yeah.
chest and like throwing himself on the floor right now.
He's rended his clothing in twain.
Well, they did actually do that in the last...
He did it?
In the last chapter, they
episode,
were like,
yeah.
yes, they tore their clothing. So
The friends
Oh, yeah,
showed
yeah,
up,
yeah.
saw Job being miserable, and rended their own clothing.
Because they were so upset.
yeah.
And then they all sat in silence for 7 days,
Is that Shiva?
and then his friend spoke, and now Job is speaking. Or
No,
no, Job spoke first and said the whole like, "I wish I had died in childbirth."
Right.
Then his
God.
friend spoke and was like, "It's gonna be all right, chum." And then Job, this is his response.
Job was like, no, it's not.
It's one of those instances where it's like you try to cheer someone up, but they really want to be miserable.
No, well, Job is that guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
He rebelled.
fair,
This is why
though.
the devil wanted him, because He's
I
just
see.
going to be a miserable jerk.
No, I mean, to be fair, he's been through a lot here.
That's
He has
true.
been through
Yes,
a
that's
whole
true.
lot.
And I think he would be pretty pissed if he found out why he went through all of this.
A bit.
Well, we'll see if God ever lets him in on all the reasons
Yeah,
why.
God'll take him aside, by the way.
Hey,
This was just
man.
all to prove that the
Yeah.
devil is wrong.
Yeah.
Good job, bro.
I think I'm 24.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teach me, and I will be quiet. Show me where I have been wrong. How painful are honest words, but what do your arguments prove? Do you mean to correct what I say and treat my desperate words as wind? That's nice. That's lovely.
Yeah.
You would even cast lots for the fatherless and barter away your friend, just like God and the devil are doing.
Exactly.
that's
Oh,
true.
dang. He's calling him out.
Oh.
God's right now is like,
He's pulling on his collar.
exactly. It's like, this is
The devil's
awkward.
got his hand folded, stroking his goatee. But now be so kind as to look at me. Would I lie to your face? Relent. Do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake. Is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? That's filthy.
That's very Shakespearean.
Yeah. So that's the end of that chapter.
Whew, yeah.
So just saying, I would totally read the rest of this for you tonight.
Well, it's so funny because I realized that growing up, like, no one read the Bible melodramatically because
It deserves it.
No, it was all, then Job replied, if
Yes.
only
Very
my
somber,
anguish
yeah.
would be
like maybe if
laid
they were trying to make a point about a particular line or something somebody said, maybe they'd punch it up a little bit.
Though, we did, when I was a little kid, we had a pastor who was kind of the, you know, sort
Cool
of
pastor?
the archetype of like the fire and brimstone, you know, pounding on the pulpit and you know, proclaiming to the heavens, as it were. And apparently this, for me as a kid, I don't remember this. I was very young. This is like pre-talking, I think. I was really into this guy. And I had
Really?
a little dump truck toy that I would like flip over and use as a pulpit,
Oh my God.
and would just nonsense words like no, and like and
That's adorable.
I don't. It's not adorable. It's more frightening to me.
well, I didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
just-
what we call in the business indoctrination.
Yeah.
So then the best part though is that then one day that pastor came over to our house, and I did this performance for him. And my parents had to be like, this is a thing that he does.
I think he probably liked it.
No,
he
he
probably
did.
was
He-
like, that's so cool.
He took it in stride.
How old were you?
I must have been like 2.
Oh my goodness.
I was maybe 3, right? Like before I was really like full on speaking. Like, I think I could speak, but wasn't like, I couldn't do a fake sermon or something.
You're speaking in tongues.
I was I was probably actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Wow. Well, with that image,
you know what's funny about the performance aspect of the Bible is I've seen like all the Jesus epics, the greatest story
there's a lot
ever
of them.
told, Jesus of Nazareth, all of them. And not one of them had any charisma whatsoever.
oh, it's so true.
Because they always did the 2 fingers up, like, blessed are the meek.
Yeah, Jesus is always just
Then
like very milk
I
toast.
saw Willem Dafoe, who's a terrifying man,
Right.
play Jesus in Last Temptation of Christ. And he was literally the first Jesus where I looked at it as like, yeah, that guy? I'd follow that guy. Because he was like, blessed are the meek. It was
He was, like, actually passionate.
engaging. And yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. I don't know why they don't do that.
So I guess I have to see if I can follow up that performance.
Yeah.
It's going to feel blasphemous to me. Okay, so this is Job 7. So Job is still talking, believe it or not.
Gosh.
For this
Job
ent-
is,
See,
you just
the
can't shut
chapter
up.
break is weird because he is in
Yeah,
the middle of his monologue.
soliloquy.
They did that with Eliphaz too. His
Right.
was broken
Yeah,
into
it's
2 chapters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we'll give you an intermission in between.
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Can we
there
please
needs
take
to be
a
a
break,
moment
Joe?
where the priest can say the word of God, thanks be to the Lord, and close
Yeah.
the book.
Right.
So you can get on with things and get communion and go to the breakfast.
Go to breakfast afterwards. The best part of church.
Have some coffee cake.
Are we ready for Job 7?
Yes.
I'm
Let's
ready.
do it.
Do not mortals have hard service on earth? Are not their days like those of hired laborers? Like a slave longing for the evening shadows, or a hired laborer waiting to be paid. Sorry. I don't know why
Did you
that
say
got me.
Job had slaves?
He
Servants.
did. Like,
Yes,
Job had a really
servants.
cool, good life before.
Servants, not
So
slaves.
now he's comparing himself to the plight of slaves?
I think
A slave owner?
just mortals in general.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm feeling less sympathetic for Job already.
But he's also talking about hired labor waiting to be paid. And let's face it, like net 60 sucks. If you've ever been in that situation, or net 90 or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
I have been allotted months of futility, net 60, and nights of misery have been assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up?
Really, Job? You had a good life.
He does. The night drags on.
I thought that just last night when we finally got to bed once we got the air conditioner working. I was like, how long before I get up?
every morning.
The night drags on, and I toss and turn until dawn. Oh, okay, sorry. Here's a little content warning. It's going to get gross again. My body is clothed with worms and scabs. My skin is broken and festering. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. The eye that now sees me will see me no longer. You will look for me, but I will be no more.
I feel like
So much
that
drama.
verse has been used before.
Oh, really?
Like, you will look for me, but I will be no more.
Like what, in a breakup letter?
No.
No, like on the WB, someone says that and sounds deep.
Is he saying that he's going to commit suicide? Is it just like a preamble to him doing that?
Well,
No, I think he's saying that he's going to die.
I think he is just like,
Yeah.
he's accepting that
He's like,
he is going
look,
to die.
my body is falling apart,
Yeah.
God. I'm going to be dead. You won't be able to find me to torture me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, so one who goes down to the grave does not return. He will never come to his house again, and his place will know him no more. Therefore, I will not keep silent. I will speak out in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. That's what it is. He's just trying to say, like, I'm going to die. Let me bitch about this for a little bit longer.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because his friend was like, no, man, it's going to be all right. I see. So he's just
And he's like,
no,
nah,
listen,
my goose is cooked.
listen, as Emily would say.
Listen, I'm going to talk about this right now, and you're just going to sit there.
That's when his friends each open their mouth to like reply, and he's like,
It's like, no.
no. This is my turn.
Am I the sea or the monster of the deep that you put me under guard? When I
like
think
that.
my
Yeah.
bed will comfort me and my couch will ease my complaint, even then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that I prefer strangling and death rather than this body of mine.
Wait, his couch? Like his couch that he hangs out on like his chaise longue?
It's where he sits to watch TV.
Yeah.
I was also surprised by the word couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a weird translation a little bit.
Well, couch comes up in like Shakespearean text as like
Really?
Yes,
Is it the
that's-
same thing?
It's like a couch of like in Hamlet he uses it's like a couch of unrest or something like that where it's
Well, or is it to couch something within? Because that's a whole different thing.
well, but he's talking about it in reference to his bed. He's kind of listing off his furniture and how all his furniture is disappointing to him these days.
It must be some sort of a little, loungy chair sort of situation or some sort of a chair.
It appears to have originated in Middle English, so
Okay.
a translation of the
Ended
Bible
up being
could have
couch.
that.
Maybe
yeah.
originally it was a beanbag. We don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
No, he's a futon because his wife no longer wants him in their bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she's like
he's
the
on the
Get on that
futon
couch.
or the pull-out couch.
Yeah, he's on the
exactly.
couch.
That's
what
You know,
it is.
really rough.
with the bar right in the middle of his back.
That is rough.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I despise my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone. My days have no meaning. What is mankind that you make so much of them, that you give them so much attention, that you examine them every morning and test them every moment?
This is completely. I mean, all I can hear is Tommy Wiseau here.
Oh, Tommy
I
Wiseau.
despise my life.
I know.
I would not.
What is
live
mankind that you make so
forever.
much of them, that you give them so much attention, Mark?
He pulled
Oh,
this.
hi, Jesus.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Jesus.
Oh, hi, Eliphaz.
He pulled it from Job. Who knew that he was referencing Job?
I mean, he probably knew all along.
I did not hit her. Go on, I'm sorry.
Did not. Can I just ask, well, like, when one says this in church and talks about this, like, Job is going on and on and on about all the things that he's upset about, but people use this as like, well, look at Job, look at he never renounced God, and that's a big deal. But Job is doing a lot of bitching and moaning right now.
Well, here's the thing that in Catholic services, they really, really, really cherry pick the Old Testament.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
most,
they really lean hard on the New Testament. So, yeah, I don't remember ever, I heard the story of Job,
But not
I
all
never
this.
heard chapter and verse.
Yeah,
of Job.
Right.
same here.
Yeah. Yeah, like often in church, they'll read something from the Old Testament and something from the New Testament. And the New Testament is like maybe a fifth the size of the Old Testament, but you're reading about an equivalent amount from each. So you're much more selective with which parts of the Old Testament get read in church, whereas the New Testament, you're getting not
Most
all
of
of
it?
but a lot of it. You're getting most of it, I would say.
Interesting.
Where was I? Okay, so yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah. Just do the rest of it as Tommy. I think it'll be great.
I'm sorry, I can't. But we can all hold that image in our minds. Will you never look away from me or let me alone, even for an instant? If I have sinned, what have I done to you, you who see everything we do? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? I think now he's talking to God. He was talking to his friends, and now it's shifted.
You know, he started his soliloquy to his friends.
Yeah.
And then the lights came down on his friends, and here's where he moves center stage because he's talking.
I think this whole chapter has been to God.
You think so?
I think the last chapter was to his friends, and I think this chapter's all been to God.
I see. Maybe that's the break.
Because he said earlier, he said, "Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath." Like he's saying,
I see.
I think he's talking to God here.
No, he's pointing at the sky.
If I have sinned, what have I done to you, you who see everything we do? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my offenses and forgive my sins? For I will soon lie down in the dust. You will search for me, but I will be no more. And poor Job, he's like, why are you doing this to me? And little does he know.
That's the line that I've heard before.
That one about.
Is
You're
that
not going to have old Joby to kick around anymore.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to start reading Job 8 because finally someone else is speaking who's not Job.
And his first verse is difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that. Or sorry, I know it's you, Jace,
Yeah,
but
it's Jace.
Oh yeah, this one's
good
one's
luck.
me.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to read this one after me, or the next chapter, which I think will still be Bildad.
Bildad.
This is Bildad.
This is Dad, Bill.
Papa Bill. Bildad. Okay. All right, here's Job 8. All right, before we go on to the next chapter of the Bible, we want to take a quick moment to talk about how this show gets made and how you can help ensure that this show keeps getting made. And the best way to do that is to become one of our supporters on Patreon. So on our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy, we have several tiers where you can help support this show as well as getting a bunch of cool benefits. So the first is that even for just $1 a month, you can become a member of our Patreon, and that helps us to keep this show going, as well as getting you access to being able to comment on the Patreon page, as well as read comments that we make or that other members make. At $6 a month, you can be a parishioner, which lets you get access to our bonus episodes, which we record basically every week to go along with the episode. Sometimes
They're very fun.
Yeah, they're super fun to do. Sometimes these are like more in-depth analysis or research on something, or sometimes it's an interview with an expert. Sometimes it's just watching movies or musicals based on the Bible together and joking about them or commenting on them. And then at $12 a month, you can become a disciple. And with that, in addition to becoming part of the community, getting all the bonus episodes and anything else that we put out, you also get ad-free episodes, and they come out 2 days early. So you get to be cooler than all of your friends because you already know those Bible chapters 2 days before them. So then when you listen together with them, you can be like, I knew that.
I knew that, obviously. Duh. No question.
Yeah, exactly.
So in addition to this, we're also really trying to reach our goal of getting 300 patrons. So this is a very exciting goal because once we reach it, we can start releasing 2 Bible studies a week instead of 1. And that's amazing. I mean, it means that you and we do not need to wait as long between episodes. We don't have to wait as long to record multiple episodes. Y'all don't need to wait as long to get those multiple episodes. So it's a win-win-win, win-win for everyone.
Also, we would absolutely love to hear what you think of the show. So if you can take 2 minutes out of your day to go to iTunes or to Stitcher and leave us a review, we would love to hear from you. Is there a particular chapter that really moved you as you heard us drunkenly read it and make jokes about it? What's your background? Were you also raised atheist like Emily was, or were you raised in the church, in the Christian church like Jason and I were? Were you raised in a completely different religion? We want to know your thoughts. So again, go to iTunes or go to Stitcher, leave us a review, let us know.
Then Bildad the Shuhite replied, "How long will you say such things?
Yeah, seriously.
Your words are
Like,
blustering. Your words are a blustering wind, bro." Yeah, sorry, I added the bro.
What a jerk.
Yeah.
Jerk.
I mean,
He's dripping with goo. He's oozing from the boils.
Let me just say, though, we were all thinking it. Bildad was the one who actually had the balls to say it.
Okay.
Get it? You're in pain.
Jeez.
So sad.
Does God pervert justice? Does the Almighty pervert what is right? When your children sinned against him, he gave them over to the penalty of their sin. But if you will seek God earnestly and plead with the Almighty, if you are pure and upright, even now he will rouse himself on your behalf and restore you to your prosperous state.
See, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That all is... I don't understand.
Garbage.
Why are they saying that? What?
Because they're pious.
He's been there. I know, but he's been the most pious.
Well, no, but because they're pious and they know God's paying specific attention to Job.
So
and
they're
if
like,
they get on the wrong side of God, suddenly there's going to be a bet on
them
you know, how
too.
easily they can be destroyed.
Well, I feel like Bildad's
Good point.
coming in, and he's kind of coming in with the argument of like, well, God helps those who helps themselves. So like, get yourself together, and then God's going to turn it around.
Yeah, I guess, because the first one was like...
Don't worry about it.
Eliphaz was like, it's all going to be all right. Everything works out okay for good people, right? Which history's shown us is not true. Our current politics show us is not true.
At all.
Boom. Relevance.
Okay, so then Bildad comes along and is like, no, man, like, you just got to stick with it. It's all going to be all right. You'll build yourself back up. Let's see. Your buildings.
The power of positive thought.
Exactly.
Yes, I did make a reference to that last episode too. I think his friends are totally new age.
They're totally trying to secret him.
Yeah.
Whoa, man. It's all going to be good.
You've manifested this yourself, man.
Yeah, so just manifest something different.
Okay. Your beginnings
We're too good.
will seem humble. So prosperous will your future be. Ask the former generation and find out what their ancestors learned. For we were born only yesterday and know nothing, and our days on earth are but a shadow. Will they not?
That's a lovely passage.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
see,
beautiful.
it's like sprinkled with these like really poetic passages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Will they not instruct you and tell you? Will they not bring forth words from their understanding? Can papyrus grow tall where there is no marsh?
Again, bringing in the
I
marshes.
don't know,
and
can it?
I don't know how papyrus grows, so...
One would have to say that it can't, I guess, according to
papyrus needs
this.
a marsh.
I mean, all you do is you resize it. It's a 12-point font.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
Wow, that was too much for you all. Okay. I'm glad I know where the line is.
The late 90s font-based jokes.
You know, typeface humor is not going to work here. Not on drunken Bible stuff.
Exactly.
Can reeds thrive without water? While still growing and uncut, they wither more quickly than grass. Such is the destiny of all who forget God. So perishes the hope of the godless. What they trust in is fragile. What they rely on is a spider's web.
Oof.
Gosh, that's a little for us.
Yeah, too close to
I
home.
know you guys.
I know, I saw that on
It's,
Twitter
yeah,
about the
3-foot
spider.
spider's web outside of the door right now.
3 foot?
Yeah, no, literally.
The web is gigantic.
She is huge, and the web is gigantic. And that's 3
big?
feet is the web itself. The actual, like, her support lines are a good like 6 feet across. It's
Wait, show me with your hands how big she is.
Oh no, not that
The
big.
spider?
That big.
Oh, like-
She's like that big.
Oh.
She's a spider of size.
Yes.
For sure.
Sorry. Okay.
Anyway, so to me, spider's webs seem like not a good example right now.
No,
they seem like
she's
quite,
reliable too, because the web got taken down, I think, by one of the like landlords here,
and she
today
made another
it's
one in the
back
same
up.
spot.
So what they rely on as a spider's web is quite reliable. That's what I've learned. They lean on the web, but it gives way. They cling to it, but it does not hold. Again, I'm so freaked out thinking about touching that spider web.
That would be a good thing.
I guess, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Because you're not snared in a spider's web.
That's true.
I think
That's
this
true.
book is making the wrong point. I
Yeah.
think it's actually making a point it doesn't want to make.
Well, this is Bildad, and I'm not convinced that these friends are people that, even in the context of this text, are people that we should be listening to.
I see. So
Do you
maybe
know-
we should be taking this with a grain of salt.
I think
see.
the
So
point
they
of this
don't
book
want us
is
to
the
listen.
debate. That
It's
it's
like
not.
the rhetorical or Socratic back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would Socrates have lived by this point?
No.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Well, it depends on when you believe it was written.
Well,
That's true.
when the story's supposed to take place in the story, definitely not.
Yes, not in the timeline of the
no.
story.
No.
Right. Okay. They are like a well-watered plant in the sunshine, spreading its shoots over the garden. They are like spreading its shoots over the garden. It entwines its roots around a pile of rocks and looks for a place among the stones. I see. Sorry, it took me a while to get to the point of that metaphor.
Yeah. He's also saying, like, this is the destiny of all who forget God. So that's who we're talking about. Because I
Right.
was like, who are they? But it's the people who forget about God.
Yes.
But when it is torn from its spot, that place disowns it and says, I never saw you. I love that. The plant gets picked up in the garden. It's
Never
like,
saw you. What?
who?
I don't know.
Plant who? What?
It's like, whoa, God, whoa.
Oh my God.
Never saw Job. You take him.
Yeah.
I don't know this guy.
Surely its life withers away, and from the soil other plants grow. Surely God does not reject one who is blameless, or strengthens the hands of evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter, and your lips with shouts of joy. Your enemies will be clothed in shame,
Whoa.
and the tents of the wicked will be no more.
I've heard that verse whipped out
Yeah, I
before.
have to. Yeah.
I wonder what shame would look like as clothing.
Well, I thought that in a biblical context that would be nudity because we've established that being naked is to be shameful, or that
In
you should
Genesis,
be
we
ashamed
did
of
say
being
that,
naked.
yeah.
So your enemies will be naked.
Okay, I mean that works though. And the tents of the wicked will be no more. So yeah, he went on this whole thing of like, rely on the wisdom of the previous generations, but then also like keep at it, partner.
Keep at
It'll all
it.
work out fine.
Yeah.
So kind of similar to what Eliphaz was saying, I think, right?
Just like, cheer up.
Like, yeah.
Almost as though the authors did not create separate personalities for the individual friends and instead had them all just say the exact same thing to Job.
Are they perhaps like the role of the Greek chorus?
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Bildad was definitely the most salty because he was the one who was like, you sound like some blustering wind, bro.
That's true. I actually want to bust that one out on you guys next time you're complaining about something.
Blustering wind all
Your
over the
words
place.
are a blustering wind.
Then Job replied.
Right. Emily, are you ready
yeah,
to
here we
handle
go.
Job's reply? It's the longest chapter of these
Oh
four.
man, here we
He's
go.
going to throw down. This is like the end of the rap battle.
Yeah.
Because they just dropped some sick rhymes at Job, and now
he's
Job
like,
is
"Nah,
going
man,
to
nah."
turns around and like, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Guys, I just had an amazing idea. This is going to be
What, are we going to rap battle this now?
No, this is going to be how we're going to win a Tony. We're going to make Job, an American musical.
Oh my God.
It's all a rap battle of the story of Job.
Well, it shouldn't be an American musical.
I
It
was
should be
going
like
for
a
a-
biblical musical.
Going
Yeah,
for a
you're right.
Hamilton thing, but
Job,
a biblical musical.
A biblical
No,
musical.
I'm with you on the Hamilton aspect
I
of
love it.
Because clearly that wins all the Tonys.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing better than mounting a gigantic biblical epic rap battle musical.
To win a Tony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Easy.
All right. Then Job replied, "Indeed, I know that this is true, but how can mere mortals prove their innocence before God? Though they wished to dispute with him, They could not answer him one time out of 1,000. His wisdom is profound. His power is vast. Who has resisted him and come out unscathed?
So is this Job whining, or is this Job throwing down?
Wait, okay,
How can mere mortals prove their innocence before God?
Well,
yeah, I'm like, okay.
I feel like, okay, is Job now, okay, so Bildad made the argument of like, you gotta buck up and you gotta like be good and, you know, submit to God. And then
the wisdom of the ages.
Then he'll turn things around for you. And then I feel like now Job's coming back with the argument of like, that doesn't matter. God does what he wants to whoever he wants.
Or is he saying, because what Job was saying in his soliloquy to God was about like, what have I done wrong? Like what sins have I committed? Where are my faults that I don't see? Right? Like, why are you punishing me this way? And so maybe here he's kind of being like, what do you mean these people are good? How do they know? Like, God's the only one who can know this. Though they wish to dispute with him, they could not answer him one time out of 1,000.
I see.
So maybe he's like, we can't even comprehend like what God can. Maybe we're doing something wrong and we don't know it. Or maybe
that's kind of a sad way to live.
I mean, he's already living a pretty sad life.
I know. Well, he wasn't for a while, but
I know. I don't know. This sounds like the beginning of a sad weekend, really, because his life up to this point has been pretty sweet, and it only recently got kind of crappy.
I suppose it got bad within the last couple weeks.
Yes.
You could say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when everyone he loved and knew died, except for his wife, who doesn't want to be around him.
It is rough. It's true.
All his sons died. That's pretty awful.
Well, but okay. I mean, here's a philosophical question: is would it be worse if he had like a son die every single year for like the next 7 years, or get it all done in a weekend?
You know,
it's kind of a would you rather situation. A really terrible, dark would you rather situation.
Really bad would you rather.
God, would you rather all 7 of your sons die right now, or one of them die each year?
And then you know about it, that it's coming.
Yeah, gosh.
I mean, I would rather God not make bets with the devil about me. And
that would be ideal, for sure.
Screw with me for no reason whatsoever.
Well, as Job is about to argue, you don't got no say in that.
Yeah,
apparently. He moves mountains without their knowing it and overturns them in his anger. Yes, we have seen that.
God was angrier in the Old Testament. It was before he became a father.
Oh, I see.
That changed him.
I also love the line that like he moves mountains without them knowing it. That the mountains are like, whoa.
Well, the mountains don't know shit.
How did I end up here?
And then he overturns them. He's like, ah.
It's God flipping the table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, but this is kind of interesting because it's like, I feel like it's talking about earthquakes. He shakes the earth from its place and makes its pillars tremble. He speaks to the sun and it does not shine.
That could be eclipses.
Yeah.
He seals off the light of the stars. He alone stretches out the heavens and treads on the waves of the sea. Well, I haven't seen him. Nobody's actually seen this guy, right?
Well, Adam and Eve did.
Oh, interesting. He is the maker of the Bear and Orion.
I also found this very interesting.
And the constellations of the South?
The Big Dipper, Orion, and the Pleiades.
Yeah.
And which constellations the Pleiades?
The Pleiades is the one that you can't quite look at because it's this little cluster, so you have to sort of look to the side, and then you see it out of the corner of your eye. It is hands down my favorite constellation.
Really? Okay, cool.
I wonder what these were.
Because it's one that you can talk about, so like when you're laying out, with your best girl.
So it's a hang on. So it's a date. Night. So you're saying it's a good date night constellation.
It is a great date night constellation.
I see.
And Orion's good because it's got Betelgeuse, and that's always fun.
And that's
No, just how did they know about these things back in 5,000?
My guess is the text was dramatically updated as they renamed the constellations, because this is the New American edition? New International version.
Okay. Yes.
So, I mean, well, and here's a fun little segue about the Bible.
Let's hear it.
So if you look back, everything is translated from translations.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
And so there's this document called the Q document, which is the theoretical oldest form of the written Bible.
Okay.
And it's the theoretical beginning of all the transitioning translations.
Okay.
because you can actually track translations based on the changes that are made within.
Right.
Because various scribes would make changes
these,
either by accident or on purpose.
Yeah.
And you'd also see in the margins changes written that would then be incorporated into future versions in the text itself. So, I mean, it's one of those things where there's a lot of debate over whether or not when you talk about the Virgin Mary, you're talking about a young woman, which is a version of that,
yes.
or you're talking about a literal virgin.
Yeah.
And a lot of people take the literal virgin stance when it's really far more likely she was just a young woman.
Right. Well, I thought, the word virgin used to just refer to a woman who is like unmarried, but not necessarily, a sexual virgin. An actual virgin, just that she
so stuff like these constellations. I would be very curious looking back at various translations.
Well, that's what
the constellations looked like.
That's what Jace is working on right now.
That's what I'm doing right now. So our unofficial sponsor for this show, BibleStudyTools.com, has an amazing thing where you can look verse by verse through the Bible and compare, something like 40 different translations with each other. So...
Oh, wow. Look at the way it does change.
For example, there's one that's called Young's Literal Translation, where this verse says, making Osh, Kessel, and Kima, and the inner chambers of the south. Right? So completely different names for these things. Or
Arcturus.
let's see what the King James said. Yeah, here we go. Well, this is the New King James. It said he made the Bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. Okay. Oh, the New International Reader's Version, which I think is like the easier to read New International Version, says he made the Big Dipper and Orion. He created the Pleiades and the Southern Stars. They're real simplified.
And Alpha Centauri, one of them mentions, the Message Bible mentions Alpha Centauri.
Wow. Weird.
Shall we roll along?
Yes.
He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted. When he passes me, I cannot see him. When he goes by, I cannot perceive him. If he snatches away, who can stop him? Who can say to him, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
No one can say it to him, though.
Yeah, no one can say it.
Apparently not. God does not restrain his anger. Yeah, we know. We know he doesn't. Even the cohorts of Rahab.
Sure.
The cohorts of Rahab cowered at his feet. I don't know who that is. I don't know if they've been referenced before.
Okay, I want to share a picture of Rahab for you all.
Oh, dear.
All right.
Bible Woman -18.
Is that your new username?
No, that's the thing that came up when you...
That's the name of the
Dang. Oh, I've seen this picture before. Is that who it is?
That's what Wikipedia tells me.
All right. Bible Women -18. Good looking.
Okay.
All right. How then can I dispute with him? How can I find words to argue with him? Though I were innocent, I could not answer him. I could only plead with my judge for mercy. Even if I summoned him and he responded, I do not believe that he would give me a hearing.
I do not believe that he would.
Jeez.
If I summoned him?
God suspended due process.
Oh,
God,
geez.
get down here. And he's like, what, Job, what? Will you give me a hearing?
Got time for this?
No, I'm not going to give you a hearing. All right.
Okay.
He would crush me with a storm and multiply my wounds for no reason.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
No reason. It's true, though.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
He would not let me catch my breath, but would overwhelm me with misery.
Yeah.
If it is a matter of strength, he is mighty. And if it is a matter of justice, who can challenge him? Even if I were innocent, my mouth would condemn me. If I were blameless, it would pronounce me guilty. Gosh, is this how people think of God?
I mean, his point is kind of that like God has all the power here. It's not like I can negotiate on even terms with God.
Is that we are all sinners.
In the hands of an
He
angry
is
God.
the only one who can provide absolution. We are sin by virtue of being born from the lineage of Eve, the original sin.
Right.
So we are all, especially in the Old Testament, people are always like rending their clothes at the very notion that they have affronted God.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Well, clearly he is too.
Yes.
Although I am blameless, I have no concern for myself. I despise my own life. It is all the same. That is why I say he destroys both the blameless and the wicked. When a scourge brings sudden death, he mocks the despair of the innocent.
Jeez.
Wow.
Gosh,
Wow.
this is really heavy.
Yeah.
When a land falls into the hands of the wicked, he blindfolds its judges. If it is not he, then who is it?
Wow, that is an especially poignant verse.
Yeah.
My days are swifter than a runner. They fly away without a glimpse of joy. They skim past like boats of papyrus. There's papyrus again.
Yep.
Like eagles swooping
it was all
down
they
on
had. They did not have
Exactly.
like 10-pound stock.
No.
Jeez.
Like eagles swooping down on their prey. If I say, I will forget my complaint, I will change my expression and smile. I still dread all my sufferings, for I know you will not hold me innocent. Jeez.
Well, so that's why Job is like, I'm not going to do this secret BS that you're trying to feed me. I'm not going to do some positive psychology. Like,
Right.
there's no
It's
hope
just,
for me.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's just going to happen
like,
the way it happens.
I must have done something.
No, now I'm kind of thinking with what Cooper was saying, that it is like he's acknowledging the fact that like I'm inherently flawed and God's going to do what God's going to do. I'm still not going to renounce God because that's not the way this works. It's not like there's another choice in my world. It's just like...
But I'm not going to be happy about it.
I'm not going to be happy
about
it.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to hold on to this like false hope that like, oh, if I just am penitent enough that God will make everything okay.
I see.
Oh, I like this. Since I am already found guilty, why should I struggle in vain? Even if I washed myself with soap and my hands with cleansing powder, you would plunge me into a slime pit so that even my clothes would detest me.
A slime pit.
Even your own clothing would be like, this is gross.
Yeah.
Is this like the Nickelodeon slime pit?
Yeah,
Like
the
the
Nickelodeon.
green-
It is actually Double Dare just came back. So
Yeah.
that clearly Job took the physical challenge.
Exactly. His clothes would detest him.
Gosh.
Oh, that's so good.
So he's even like, there's not even a point for me to wash myself.
Yeah. No.
And Job's friends are like, please do.
Please do
We
wash.
really wish you
deodorant
would.
on, man.
Please.
Yeah,
Cleansing
bro,
powder.
you
I have
smell-
some extra, man.
He is not a mere mortal like me that I might answer him, that we might confront each other in court. Again with the court.
And with the court.
Yeah.
If only there were someone to mediate between us, someone to bring us together,
Job's
someone to
calling for a lawyer.
Yeah, I know. Someone to
wants
remove
legal
God's rod from me. Wait,
From all up in
that
me.
sounds really sexual.
I'm going to suggest it's a puppet rod.
Okay.
Oh, see, I was
Yeah,
thinking it was more like a spear kind of a rod.
I was thinking like a hot rod kind of rod.
What is it? Spare the rod and spoil the child?
Exactly.
That's a thing, right?
Exactly.
It is
What's
not,
that?
not from this book, but
Yeah, but later
But
on.
that's what the phrase is. It's
Yeah,
the
spare
rod,
the rod,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So God, okay, apparently it is God just jamming
Just
the rod.
jamming the
right?
rod.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
By the way, I'm looking up
All right.
other translations of into a slime pit, and
Yeah, I want to hear about the slime pit.
most of them
right.
call it either like plunged me in filth or into a ditch or the dust or a pit of mud or something. I feel like
What's the deal with slime pit? then?
Slime
What
is a-
Slime pit is
with the
definitely
new international version. What is the child's version? What is
slime.
the new international children's version?
Wait, hang on. The Young's literal translation I like. Then in corruption thou dost dip me. And then my
then
garments
dip
have
me in
abominated.
what?
You
In
dip
corruption.
You dip him in corruption.
Yeah.
Like a freaking chicken tender.
the New International Reader's Version, right? And then you would throw me into a muddy pit, and even my clothes would hate me. It just
I mean, that would speak to children everywhere. You got thrown in mud by God, and your clothes got upset with you. I mean, like,
I hated you.
really, what would be more like, freaky for kids here?
I suppose, yeah. You're so dirty, your clothes hate you.
Okay,
especially on Sunday because they're wearing their church
your
best.
Sunday
Right.
best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, we're very close to
We're
the
almost
break.
to the end here.
Yeah.
Bring us home.
Okay. Someone to remove God's rod from me so that his terror would frighten me no more. Then I would speak up without fear of him, but as it now stands with me, I cannot.
That's the end.
That's the end.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Compared to the other stuff we've read, the book of Job so far is much more of like, dare I say, a page turner. You know, because when we were reading Genesis,
you do dare to say. I just got to put it out there.
when we were reading Genesis before, like in one episode, it would be like these, 10 generations were had. Also, a flood came, wiped out all the earth. And then Noah was naked, and, like a ton of things happen. It's just like, I guess I want to know what happens next. But this is all taking place in one day.
One conversation.
Like one conversation. So I more than others, I'm like, I want to know what his rebuttal is. I want to know, what the next guy says. Kind of like, where are we going here?
I guess there is more nuance.
This website keeps offering me a free prayer guide.
Yeah.
It promises that I will learn to overcome anxiety, worry, and fear when I claim God's promises.
That sounds
Oh, well,
pretty
that's
good.
sweet.
Is that
Yeah.
just what in exchange
Pretty
for
good deal.
in exchange
That's a
for like
pretty
an
good
email
deal.
address?
Yeah.
Though Job,
Yeah, maybe
Does-
Job's not.
I
so
feel
convincing.
like he has presented a strong case for not that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Cooper. And
My pleasure.
we'll hope to have you back on sometime for some more dramatic
Anytime.
readings once we're onto another book, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much. And everyone, we will see you next time. I guess this will be just in a few days, will be when the next episode comes out, when we continue on with Job here.
Thank you for joining us for Bible study today. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. Find us on Twitter at Drunk Bible Cast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email at info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Dedeker Winston, Jace Lindgren, and me, Emily Matlack. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. The theme song for the Book of Job is Agnus Dei Ex by Kevin MacLeod. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.
I made a memory about your dad. He's in a book club. Whoa. He's got a history of skimming past all the pages of ageless confessional shit.